Hi, everyone. Thank you for liking. There's one like, 8 people in the stream. I'm not complaining. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you. Thursday, one more day. Tomorrow's graduation day. Okay, welcome. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Oh, we're back up to 8. I'm actually in the parking lot of the gym. I think I'm going to start out today with the sauna. And then I'm going to go and do some strength. Well, maybe I'll go on the bike, yeah, afterwards, because yesterday I just did strengthening exercise. But yeah, I was just waiting for some more people to come in. Oh, is that the Amtrak train? No, that's not the Amtrak. That's got to be the New Jersey Transit, I think. That's what was passed. So let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I just came from Starbucks. I was able to do some work. Actually, was able to do some work, and still a lot more that needs to be done. I have a presentation slide that I'm working on. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I'll have more time after school ends tomorrow, work ends tomorrow. Yeah, and the work must continue. Being a change maker, I wanted to find out from you guys, did anything stand out for you today? Remember yesterday I spoke about what stood out yesterday. And did anything stand out for you today? I was just curious to see how your Thursday went. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hope you like the vibe of this channel. He turned his music down. Hope you guys like, well, it's my authentic vibe, you know, as I was talking about last week. I spoke about it last week, and I think I may have started the week before about sometimes people are or can be intimidated by one's level or one's degree of authenticity, right? And but so what that may look like, it may look like something positive. It may look like something good. So in other words, when you are in the position or in the situation or in the discourse of having to interact with someone, especially if you've met them for the first time, your degree of authenticity may not be what they're actually looking for, looking to interact with, right? Or looking, just to kind of connect with in that given moment or path or journey of their life. So you just have to prepare yourself. But the bottom line is just continue to be who you are, continue to be your authentic self, regardless of what the, other person's reaction or, you know, um, perception is going to be of you being your authentic self. So you have to just continue to do you, to be you. I think providing that you are, just kind of being an upstanding citizen, respectful, true to yourself, just being self-confident, just kind of uh, reflecting and demonstrating a level of self love, right? Because clearly, if you don't love yourself, it can show. Other people can pick up on that. They can see it in the way of your lack of confidence, perhaps in how you carry yourself and how you conduct yourself. So there's so many different degrees, there's so many different elements when we talk about loving oneself and when we talk about self-confidence and just kind of being just someone that has grit and someone that has a strong character and someone that thinks highly of themselves. All of that comes out. People pick up on that, and it can certainly come out in one's level of demonstration of authenticity, of being their authentic self. For some, being your authentic self may not be the vibe that somebody is looking for or that somebody can relate to or relate with. They may have a total negative view. Hi, Jane. Welcome. They may have a total negative view of you just being your authentic self and you're just doing you and not seeing anything wrong with the way you're, interacting. So there are different levels, there are different degrees. But I think in having conversations, that is what's going to help people to get a better understanding of, how they can, interact with someone to, just kind of get to reconcile certain perceptions, right? Hi. Thank you. You're welcome. Hope you had a good day, Jane R1C. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. So yeah, so I'm actually Jane. I'm in the parking lot of the gym. I'm going to be going into the gym afterwards, just having a conversation. So far, I've done this live, 3 days consistently in a row, 3 evenings rather around the same time. And I want to kind of develop a pattern of being able to do that so you guys can, know when I'm coming into the stream, when I'm starting a stream, and, just kind of creating a way for you guys to get to know more about what this channel is about. So, yeah, so I started out the conversation talking about asking people to think and to assess and to look at their day and to really just kind of see if there was anything that stood out for them today. Yesterday, I started that conversation. So we're continuing with that conversation today. And why am I doing that? I think it's a good way for people to begin to build awareness, and not just awareness, but alertness, starting to be alert with what's going on around them, what's going on in their day. I'm not saying that you have to look at every moment or every minute or every second of the day and see what really stands out. But like I used an example yesterday as I was sitting, I think exactly in this same spot. I just happened to look up to the clouds and the skies and I saw, well, some people call it chemtrails, but I will just call it like a jet or something. They just go around and they just kind of make different whatever designs in the sky, and the clouds obviously are the smoke that look like clouds that are trailing behind the plane. And I looked up and what stood out to me was the design of like a cross or like an X. And I think I showed it. I turned my camera around. So if you get a chance to watch the live stream from yesterday, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so I wasn't really going about my day or evening or afternoon trying to think about what really stood out. It just fell into my lap, so to speak. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just stopping and dropping everything that you do to see what stood out, but just incidentals, things that comes out. It may just kind of, you know, uh, just come into your view, right? Or just come into your trajectory or lens, so to speak. And then you're like, oh, what's going on here? This is like what? This is like really interesting and that kinds of stuff. But that's all I'm talking about. It's just building a pattern of being able to do things like that. And you just kind of you stop and you think about, well, gee, well, what is the advantage or what is the disadvantage of me starting to highlight things that really stand out in my day? What could be the possible benefit of you starting to highlight things in your day that actually stand out? I guess that's a way to start thinking and looking at that. It's kind of doing like a brainstorm. I think for me it's kind of training our mind to kind of do some different things, right? We're training our mind to kind of think differently, to analyze, factorize, conceptualize, whatever words you want to call it. So, but yeah, something else that has really resonated with me, and something else that actually stood out for me now that I am reflecting it, and it was yesterday during the course of the afternoon, I just kind of felt like a nudge in my spirit to pray. That is what I'm going to say. I just kind of felt like all of a sudden I just felt like praying, and I started to pray. I started to pray. I started to pray, just collectively in my spirit, and or meditating and just kind of, being focused and allow myself to be guided and directed. And I'm wondering, and I don't know really why it was that I was motivated to do that, but at that given moment in time. But I do know that being able to pray is, for me, it's a good thing. I mean, that's just my personal perception. I am not going to kind of, just kind of put my perception and try to force somebody to think and agree with me. But I think for me, it's that was important. But then later on that night before I went to bed, which was really late, I found out that there was a 7 point something earthquake in Venezuela, right? That resonated with me, number one. Well, when I first saw the news heading, from the New York Post, it said 100,000 people fared that. And to me, that's a big deal. 100,000, excuse me, people feared that. And why it also resonated with me, because it's right next to my country. I'm from Guyana, right? My country is in between Brazil and Venezuela. And the other thing that stood out when we talk about focusing on things that stand out, the title of the article said South America. Um, it said, okay, said either South America tragedy or South America something something. But the fact, what stood out to me from that title, right, is the fact that it said South America, and then of course it focused on Venezuela, right? There's a reason for me why they've highlighted South America. Me personally, when I see that, right? They didn't just the title of the article didn't just focus on Venezuela, but it says South America. And there's several reasons. Okay, Venezuela is in the continent of South America. Maybe it's a way to draw people's attention to where Venezuela is located. It could have also been to draw people's attention to that continent, especially if they weren't familiar, right? So because for some people, they around the world, they may or may not know where Venezuela is, right? They may. be familiar with South America. So at least if we draw, hi, Ian Garcia, thank you for coming back in again. Welcome. So drawing, globally speaking, the people to South America, then all of a sudden they may be able to process a little bit. Oh, okay, yeah, I know where Venezuela is. So there's several different ways, uh, of looking at it. Um, but for me, the way I looked at it or perceive that title when it says South America was like, ooh, South America is in trouble, or South America, we have to start keeping our eyes on that part of the world now. We need to start looking, um, what's going on with, our fellow humans around the world, not just in America, not just in Israel, not just in Iran, and so forth. So that's what I was thinking about, guys. And so we kind of rolled into this conversation from looking at things that stand out to the issue of the earthquake in South America. Actually, there was in Venezuela, which is South America, which is next to my country, Guyana, which is why it also resonated with me. And yeah. Oh, Ian Garcia. How old are you, Ian Garcia? Ian Garcia, R2I. How old are you? How about, I'm just asking too. I'm just asking, how old are you? You're 10. So why are you going to number one, Ian Garcia? This is not for kids. The stream is only, this is, I specifically said, no children allowed. And that's the reason being is because sometimes we have people in here that are disrespectful. And as a matter of fact, case in point, Monday night, somebody was disrespectful, and they didn't realize that I caught what they were saying, and they quickly redacted it. So I do that to protect the kids. You're saying you're only kidding. Lucilo Macabio. Hello, it's me. Hi, I see it's you, Lucilo. How are you doing? Let me know what part of the planet, whether it's international or national, that you guys are located from. So the bottom line is that, we just have to pray for our fellow humans, human beings, our fellow brothers and sisters. You know, that's what we have to do. You are 82. You're 82. Ian Garcia, you're 82. You're 82. You said you're 28, and then you're like, oh, you're 10. Okay. Age. Interesting. A woman doesn't tell her age, right? A woman doesn't tell her age. You're 82. No, 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 no. You're 22. You're 28. Yeah. Ian Garcia, R2I. Oh yeah, the person that came in on Monday, they never showed it because I felt like the user was Jericho. Oh man, I have the number. I have it saved on my phone. But they came in, and I just think it was so funny the way that they worded what they wanted to say. And then they realized that they should not have said it, and then they started to backtrack, and they're like, "Oh, they don't want to crap on my life." Like, people come in and they show their true colors. You don't have to like somebody to show respect. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be the same race of somebody in order to show respect. That's the way I look at things. But yeah, I'm just hoping that you guys had a lovely day. And yet again, thankfully, I'm on this kick or this goal of doing 120. Yeah, okay, it's 120 hours intermittent fasting. So I'm doing it for 7 days. So I started Sunday. Sunday I did 8 p.m. I didn't eat 8 p.m. Sunday night to 8 p.m. Monday, and Then the rest of the days, it's 12 to 8. I eat between the windows of 12 to 8. So um, it's 8 o'clock now. I've already stopped eating, but I can drink, but no sweet or sugar stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Training this body of mine. Sorry about that noise, guys. Yeah, so tomorrow is graduation for the kids. So us teachers, we have to go in, and tomorrow's the last day of school for the school year. So it's like, oh gosh. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So I'm gonna put aside all the thinking of stuff that I do for work, like the IEPs, but I'll be working on my personal projects. Like I said, I'll be working on that slide, a presentation slide, which I have to present internationally in August. And yeah, so that's when I'll be doing, yeah, I will be presenting. Yes, so I've got to continue to pull some research data, to kind of cite for my references and stuff like that, regarding what I'm talking about. And so for tonight, when I go, I'm in the parking lot of the gym. So when I go into the gym, I'm going to go straight to the sauna. Then afterwards, I am going to go and do some strengthening exercises. I didn't go on the bike last night, but I don't know. I'll see. I need to do some more strengthening stuff. Yeah. Please like, share, and comment. There's 6 people in the stream, but only 3 likes. Am I that boring? But no, I'm not worried about it, guys, because remember I spoke about me being my authentic self. This is my authentic self. I am working on just kind of growing, I guess, growing this channel. So I am learning, I'm open to, doing some different things, creating some different patterns. So one of the different patterns that I'm creating is trying to do lives consistently, perhaps every day on or about this time between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And sometimes it may be different times, but this is why it's important for you guys to check the notification you know, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I've uploaded a live or video. And feel free to check some of my videos out, guys, because then okay, one of the patterns, the new patterns that I need to create is doing long form videos. I think they call it long form videos, right? Because right now, what I basically do are a lot of shorts. And I I think maybe I started doing shorts because what I found is like people, they quickly access the shorts and they see them faster than they would see the long form videos. But I need to do more long form videos. So if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. The other